Hey everybody, Adam from Atlas Gunworks. I don't know if you can see Cameo down here. She's making an appearance. We're going to do a live tonight, talk about the new website. We're just getting that fully functional this week, so hopefully by Friday everything's on there and ripping. COVID slowed down some of the products from vendors and from overseas, but all that's coming into stock now. And we were able to put a nice little buffer in there, so I think we should be fully in stock here for a good bit. We're going to look at some guns and talk about that after the website, so stay tuned for some gun specials. Mark's going to take over and show you around the new website that we're super excited about. The cool part about the website is that we went out and procured a website that's got a ton of breadth and horsepower, and it can really do all these amazing things. And so over the course of the next 12 months, you'll see us start to roll out really, really cool features and options, as well as building out the store, so you could really buy almost every single part on the store. And then at some point, the goal will be you could buy a kit that has every part in it. And the parts are all designed to work together. It'll take some minor fitting, but you won't get a frame designed by somebody and a safety designed by somebody else that just aren't made to match together with lots and lots of work. Everything should be pretty easily fit together. So I'll turn it over to Mark and the website for a minute.
Cool, everybody. All right, so checking out the new website, and a lot of what you land on the front page is just visual, not a whole ton here that's new. There's a couple things that people have been very clearly excited about, which is this OG gun shop coming in the fall. We'll have more details on that shortly. And then the other one that we get a lot of comments on is Chaos 2.0 coming soon. Call Morgan on that frequently and regularly. She's very excited to tell you all about it. And then at the bottom here we've got some of the major blogs we're rolling, which is all these cool reloading, which people are super into right now. They're playing really well. But the stuff we wanted to go over was just to kind of give you a sense of some of the parts and stuff. The one that's been asking us about is triggers, and as of right now, all the triggers are up on the website, and you can get them there. And we set them up a little differently. So you basically go for the shoe and the color, and then select your bow, and you're good to go. This particular one is out of stock right now, but you can add it to your wish list. We'll get into that in a second. And then
here's what I found on
the other thing I really wanted to show you was the pizza tracker, or the pistol tracker, excuse me, my goodness. We've been calling it affectionately the pizza tracker now for so long I can hardly remember what it's actually called. But if you order a gun now from us on this website, you'll get this option here for the pistol tracker. And you'll get an email at every step along the way on your gun as to where it actually is in the process. So this current one, which we just kind of made up, is sitting in the, right now it's got going through QC and being checked out for kind of everything to make sure before we send it out for coding. So you'll get an email at every step along the way on this as to where your gun is in the process, exactly what's going on. So, and the guys down in the shop have little scanners, so every time it goes through, literally as soon as they know that it's happened, we know, and you know. So you can call the shop, but we'll give you the same information we have here, because Morgan's literally going to have this available to her as well. But basically, you'll know everywhere your gun is and the process all the way through, and updated by email and on the website. So it should minimize the need to call as much. We're happy to hear from you, but with as many guns as we're doing now, this should make life a lot easier for everybody. And then the other one is your wish list. So if you've got stuff you're interested in, if you go to the swag page or whatever, if it's out of stock, like this limited 5-inch case, you can add it to your wish list. And then over here in your wish list, this is the best part. You click the notify me when it's in stock, and as soon as those become available, you'll get an email saying, these are around and buy them. And with the stuff we've got coming, we've got triggers up now. Those will go quick. I hate to even say this, but magazines will be up in the next 48 hours. So that's something that will be there, as an option. You'll probably want to get notifications. I'd get on the site in the next 24 hours and make sure that you've got all your notifications set up so you can get all your stuff. So those are some of the big ticket items. There's also financing available now on the website for the guns. So if you've got some money down, we have a partner with a company called Credova that'll allow you to finance a portion of it. That's what you choose to do. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff coming. Let's call it first week of September, something in that ballpark, which will can't talk about just yet, but I'm super excited, and maybe Adam will let a couple things slip. So I'll throw it back to Adam for the guns.
Cool. So we won't go into super detail, but there's some very, very fun stuff coming. There's going to be and again, there's probably 5 or 6 big things coming, but a couple I can talk about without getting yelled at tomorrow are there's going to be a IPSC sight block gun, so made in 2 versions, 9mm and 40. 5-inch overall length for the sight radius, so 4.6-inch barrel with a block, so it's going to operate like a long dust cover 5-inch gun but have a block. 40 cal gun's going to get a steel grip. The 9mm is going to get an aluminum grip. I think internally it's been named the IPSC gun, and then we called it I think Achilles has been the big name, so I think that might probably stick. It's a brother to a nemesis. Morgan's shaking her head, she doesn't like it, but that's probably coming. Or that should be the name, and then that gun's getting released here in a couple weeks. Super nice gun in 40 caliber. It's just a tad sharper than a Nemesis, but it fits in the box, so gets all the IPSC games won. So if you only had to have one pistol to do it all and you play IPSC, that gun's going to be great there. On 9mm, I like it for somebody who's got a little less grip pressure, so it requires even less grip pressure than a Hyperion or an Athena, but that works as a counterweight. And you get a little longer sight radius. I don't think that's super critical, but it does, as you get a little older and you're fighting the sights, that does matter a little bit. And it's a pretty cool slide design. I don't have a slide. I had a slide somewhere. I forgot to bring it up here, so I don't have a slide to show you tonight, but that gun's very cool. We're working on some, we're working really hard to get all the things on the website, and Mark touched on the wish list. So we're going to use internally, and when I say we, mostly me, the wish list will drive what we make more, right? So we're only running on the machine shop 1 shift right now. I think we'll be here inside the month running 2 shifts and maybe 3. The demand for the parts is really, really high. So, and we're making quite a few guns a month, so we're consuming most of the parts. So to add capacity, I'll build first whatever you guys want. So the wish list says it wants 100 shielded thumb safeties. Boom, that just tells us what to make. It makes it a lot easier for us to predict what you might want. So we're under deposit to buy a new building that's 5 times bigger than the one that we're filming from today. It has nicer floors. I know probably you can't see the floors, but we're standing on plywood type floors in our little war room up here that we built. We turned an overhead deck that was just storage into I guess the main office where all the craziness gets done. So when we get to that new facility, I've got $1 million worth of machines just sitting in wait that'll be queued up to get delivered, and we'll really be able to turn up part production. And that should also allow us to turn up gun production some too. So very cool stuff coming at Atlas Gunworks. We're super excited about the new building and that stuff.
Questions?
We'll answer lots of questions, sure.
Yeah, cool. So Infidel Practical Pistols wondering high shielded thumb safeties. Are they coming back to the website soon?
Yeah, that's on the top of the priority list. The build guys have been going crazy. We set a couple records a couple months in a row for builds, so we chewed up all our own product on that. They are coming back, so a little insider information. If you ever ran our shielded or any of our thumb safeties, we had a little more tail on them, a little bit more like the SV. And we were able to figure out how to keep all the geometry the same and move the tail up a little. So they actually fit, I think they probably, I'll make up a number, but fit 80% of hands really well before. And I think now we're in the high 90s probably. So I think we've got an even better version of that coming. We're calling that the version 2. But those are, and then we changed how we did them on the machine, so we're a little faster. So I think we're going to have those pretty quick. Those are a high demand item, but I'll put that on the top of my list for now. Hit your wish list buttons though, so that'll help.
Yeah, we'll get the 2.0 version up tomorrow so they can get them wish listed.
2.0 tomorrow.
Cool. All right, well, we've got 3 questions about the Chaos 2.0.
I knew that was coming, right? So the short answer is that it's a solid probably year away. We had a prototype I really liked that works really, really well in short testing. Took that prototype to the range and did long practice days. And we didn't like it was a little bit hard to shoot. It was fatiguing. So went back to the drawing board, which is really kind of fun here because we can build a gun in a couple hours, right? Just put a new top end on. So had the boys redo the top end, changed our weight geometry on the top end to soften the gun up some, and that gun's going into getting tested tomorrow. So R&D process to do the gun is probably another 2 or 3 months, I would imagine, but well before snow flies here in the fall, we'll have the gun design done, and then I gotta go get the parts designed and made, and good chance we make all those parts in-house. So that might take another 6 months. So in reality, it's a Q2, Q3 line thing for next year, this time next year, I would think. So if you want a Chaos, the 2 won't be that drastically different than a 1, but if you want one, there are a small handful still in production that are unspoken for. Call Morgan and buy one, because it is a hardcore year, and that's all the things go well. It's a very popular model for people to talk about. And it's also a very time-consuming model for us to sell here, and we are at max capacity. So, it makes a lot of sense for us to focus on other stuff and then come back to that gun, when we're not just absolutely going 100%.
People want to know what are the issues with the current Chaos that are making us want to build the 2.0.
Absolutely nothing from a design standpoint, right? What we're trying to do is design the same function with less maintenance and more longevity. So you guys hear me get on my soapbox, and I'll be quick on my soapbox tonight, but USPSA is asking you to do something that is way above the pressure band and specs for 9mm or 38 Super. Because of that, and because of variances in brass or reloading practices or just pure bad luck, guns break way sooner than they should. I wrote a letter to USPSA this year and asked them to lower the power factor to 145 or 150. And we should probably put that letter on the website, Mark, come to think of it. We'll probably have a campaign at some point. I don't have a lot of time to fight with USPSA about open division, but there's no reason for the power factor to be that high. But if you're going to run it that high, guns are going to require a ton more maintenance. So we're trying to make the gun a little more bulletproof, and have some less maintenance and longer lifespan, even if things aren't going well. Even if you're getting overpressure cases every now and then. So that's the goal, and partly that's for us inside. We spend about 80% of our time for service answering questions about ammo and reloading and maintenance on the open guns, and they're not 80% of sales. So it doesn't make sense to keep doing a product, or continuing the product, the Chaos, where we're going to have a ton of back-end service work with emails and questions and having to rebuild guns that somebody blew up or whatever. And that's the coolest part about Atlas Gunworks, right? We're not going to tell you your gun's 8 years old and we're not going to fix it. That's just not how it works here. The gun's fixable, rebuildable, serviceable, no matter what kind of gun it is. We want to keep the guns on the road. So we're just trying to get a more durable gun here. So that makes better sense for the customer, and it makes better sense for us. But if you want a Chaos, there's 5, 6, 7 in production. I would grab them up now. Morgan's got a question.
Can you describe the difference between perfect zero and shooting flat?
Yeah, I like this question. So on the internet, everybody takes a video and they like to take them from an angle like this so that the gun looks like it doesn't move. So who cares if the gun cycle, the slide cycles in 4 or 5 milliseconds. So I don't care if the gun does this and this versus this and this, as long as when it comes down here, it's not doing this. So you watch these guys and they're like, oh, my super flat open gun, but the thing is wiggling when it's done like this. So when you shoot the next round, if it wiggles and it's down, it's going to be low, and when it wiggles and it's up, it's going to be high. I need the gun to come back and settle, right? So part of the perfect zero engineering that we're all chasing, and everyone's chasing that whether or not they know it, right? And I don't think other folks spend as much time as we do really going out and trying to make the guns do this. But I want the gun to lift. I don't care how high. It turns out when you make them perfect zero, they don't lift very high. But I want the gun to lift whatever it is, I don't care how high, come back and stop. And the stop point needs to be perfect zero. Is the stop point is where it left from. So if it leaves from here, right, and it comes back and stops here, second bullet's high, or vice versa, low, right? So that is the perfect zero engineering is the gun comes back to where it left from and it's not moving. And so many of these guys are putting holes everywhere in open guns and they're so flat. And I'm like, all right, go pull the trigger twice at 25 yards and see how far apart those two bullets are. And what really sucks is when your first bullet hole's here, and the second one's here, and the third one's here, and the fourth one's here, right? I want to be able to just go shoot the gun as fast as I can, and the bullets hold some kind of grouping. And when I say as fast as I can, I mean there's no sight pictures, right? Take the human element out of it as much as you can, and just let the gun do what it's going to do. When we know that the guns return really well to the same area, right, that perfect zero, then it gives you a better chance when you're making a mistake. So the thought process is, here's my target, first shot goes right dead center. I decide that I'm gonna pull the trigger too soon, right? And ideally the gun's really in the same spot. Or I decide I see the sights and I decide that I'm gonna pull the trigger, and for whatever reason my brain tells me go to the next target. So instead of being here where I'm up where there's a shoulder on a target or whatever, and I'm getting closer to the edge, I'm right in the center again where I should have been, where I started from, and as I'm pulling off, I got a better chance to get a Charlie or a Delta than I do a Mike or a Delta, right? So I'm just trying to keep the gun where it is, and then the mistakes that we make, and every shooter makes mistakes, is mitigated, right? Let the gun do what it's the best it can, and then, you know, your best effort's gonna give you the best score. You see some of the guys shoot certain open guns and they're like pogo sticks, and things just jumping all over the place. And it's can you win with that gun? Sure, but if you make one mistake, you probably got a mic. Versus, you know, a gun that's really got a nice zero, a lot less chance that you've got a mic at the end of the day. So it's a lot more complicated than the flat thing. And anytime you hear somebody go, "Oh, that gun's so flat," who cares? Because most of the guns that are flat do this. They actually lift just barely, and then they come down, dip, and they'll shoot low on the second bullet all day long. I mean, I can watch the videos on YouTube or Facebook and go, yeah, that gun doesn't shoot zero. We've done so much testing and so much. When we did all that testing, it was all with high-speed cameras, but not your phone at 60 frames a second, right? We're talking about thousands of frames a second. And it's really crazy what the guns do. And so that's the data we use to back end into all that. Morgan, questions? No? Morgan wants me to sell guns. So 2020 for Atlas Gunworks, we're so busy that we paused on single stacks. So there are 3 left. So you could own one of the last 3 single stacks. I think 2 are identical, 2 are carry, ultralight, full frame, full lower frame, but commander length. 4 1/4 guns. They've got custom cuts on them, adjustable rear sights, which we don't always do on the carry guns. But nice guns. They're under 30 ounces, empty. If you want something low profile, but you want to have 10+1, this is the rig for that. And I think there's 2, Morgan. Yeah. And then I don't know. They say that this one's on the website. Maybe Mark will confirm that. But there's a 40 cal Titan USPSA ready. Single stack. So this is the last one. If you shoot single stack and you're serious, I would snap that one up. We'll potentially come back to single stacks. It's just if you want to be really good at something, do the thing you're really good at, right? And double stacks is our thing, right? We can build a single stack gun. Probably those guns run with just about any hand built gun in the country, but we're double stack folk, right? So focus on what we are. And speaking of double stacks, we've got a couple of Titans. This one's, I think they're both 9mm. One's got ambi safeties, Chile grip, no tack rail on this one. And then there's another one, that's a Chile aggressive grip on that one. This one's got a Chile standard grip, it's 9mm, single-sided safety, shielded, because we only make them that way. So if you hit Morgan up, Morgan at Atlas Gunworks, she will get you hooked up, and probably there's some deals to be had in the next 24 hours on these couple guns. If they have. Morgan says you got to be nice. And so if you call Atlas Gunworks, this isn't really the case except the last month and a half here, right? But the phone rings off the hook. So if we don't pick up, we're on 2 lines. There's only about 2 or 3 people who are manning the phones at the moment. So be patient. If you email Morgan, will probably speed up the transaction in general, or email and just say, hey, call me or whatever. Extension 2 is mine. That I'm not usually at my desk, but if you leave those voicemails will come right to me. If you got technical questions, I'm the guy for that. Morgan's going to take your money and get your gun out the door. And then what else is on the ticket, guys? For big?
I got one question here. James is asking when the hats with the gray mesh will be back on the site. Need to replace my super sweat line one.
Right? I think I'm wearing one too. I'm wearing a black one, which takes about 3 times as long to sweatband them, but
I know we have the black ones up there. Do we have gray?
So we have a few of the ones with the gray front with the black mesh back in stock. We have the ones that are gray, black in the front with the gray mesh back.
Yes.
We also have some on order, so they will be coming back in stock with a slightly different material that I have been told will show less of your sweat.
There you go, James.
Richardson makes the caps, right? Yeah, and they don't make this style anymore, probably for that reason. But so they're coming. The girls are on top of the swag. It wasn't a priority during COVID. So what we did, kind of cool. What we did when COVID kind of started spooling up, our worry was supply chain. So we went out and we run 60 to 90 days with most parts of what's on hand. So 200 to 300, whatever we're trying to keep on hand for parts. And what we did is we went out and just bought another 2 months to 3 months worth of parts, whatever availability, and raw stock. So we were sitting on enough product that had supply chain issues become a problem, we still could deliver guns. And so in that frenzy, a couple things happened. We let the store stock run down a little bit, and there was some buying frenzy too in the beginning of COVID. And then a little bit less focus on the swag and stuff like we knew we could get later on when it wasn't so crazy. But we were all hands on deck. Let's not let the gun production suffer because of COVID. And I think we put up, production-wise, our best months doing that. So that was really, really fun. It worked out well, but it was good planning. So coming out of this, we should be good. We're out of questions on the website. Yeah, so super cool stuff coming. Stay tuned for big announcements coming in September. And then video tours, hopefully, of us in the new building in October, October, November. And then there's a couple really cool projects coming for SHOT Show. And then all you open guys, just wait till next summer and we'll get a Chaos 2 going. Hope to see you guys on the range soon.